G'day and welcome to Daily Insights and Storytellings with me, Moon Willow. Just a little bit of housekeeping to start off with before we go into today's journey of storytelling with the dragons. Yes, my dragon is still in the background, but apparently he really doesn't want to be seen because every time I do that, I lose the image for some reason. I don't know. It's one of those curiosities in the world. So the housekeeping is, would you mind hitting that subscribe button for me, and if you like or dislike this video, please also hit either one of the thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm hoping the thumbs up. Right, so to start, we'll get out the crystal bag. I actually treated myself to 2 new crystals yesterday for this, so we'll see where we are as a collective today. Oh, tiny one. Oh, still throat. I had a funny feeling this morning after I got up that throat seems to be very prevalent at the moment. There's a lot of stickiness. And I think that's a lot to do with what's happening in the universe at the minute, that we feel that we are really finding it difficult to speak our truths out in the wider world. And that becomes quite uncomfortable, I find anyway, in just my day-to-day living, that I'm apparently meant to be doing a certain way of being, and that goes against my authentic truth. So that does bring up problems around my throat. So I don't know whether anybody else listening to this has similar problems. I don't know. It is what it is at the moment, I guess, and I think it's just really calling for us all to just sit and work out what our truth is and how we can express that without offending other people, because it isn't about offense. We're all living in our own personal lives in a way that makes sense to us, and that doesn't mean that other people making sense of their lives is incorrect. It's just where they're sitting in the universe, and I think we need to really appreciate that. So also going back in the other day with the heart chakra as well, that it's sort of giving everybody unconditional love, including ourselves. So we've got solidite again. It is a pretty crystal though. Okay, so again, I would like you all, I know that this is pre-recorded, but I strongly believe that everybody's energy that turns up and watches this, even if you watch it days later, you will still have an impact, I believe, on the way that the cards come out. So just focus, if you wouldn't mind just focusing on the cards as I shuffle without losing any. Although if they do pop out, they're the ones that want to be listened to as well. So I would incorporate them into the reading as opposed to putting them back in. Yep, that feels right. And then again, I'm going to split these in a very weird way. And it was my namesake on the bottom. Okay. Oh, so in today's cards, we've got the ring, the book, and the key. So for me, the ring is not necessarily to do with marriage, but it is about partnership for me. And actually, sort of what's coming through for me at the moment is that sort of very much linking in with the solidite and our throat is about having a partnership with our authentic truth. That taking that, as I've just done, a really deep breath to connect with our internal selves. And as I was saying at the beginning with the solidite, it's just how we feel in the world. And I think as we speak, and what I'm actually finding more often than not recently, as I work out what my truth is, how I feel comfortable in how I want to speak, that I'm attracting in people of a similar opinion. And have a similar truth. We're all different, so that truth is going to be different, and that's okay. It helps, for me, it helps enrich our lives in that partnership. There's been a lot of negativity around differences, and I believe that from my belief system, and I am only speaking from my own self and my own truth, is that we're taught from a very, very young age to actually look at somebody's differences and then hit them over the head with it, basically. And what I've always wanted to do in my life, and what I try to do on a regular basis, is see those differences and celebrate that, and see what I can incorporate into myself so that I can have a more rich life. And it's sort of that richness and that partnership, not just with me internally, but also as I speak my truth and those other people come in, I'm able to actually connect and have partnerships. And there has been some beautiful ones recently that I really, really cherish. So it is, for me, the ring is about partnership with self, and then that goes out within from our heart chakra and our throat chakra to say that we have partnerships with others out there, and sometimes that's called our soul tribe, which I believe in, and it's not just, for me, family isn't just about blood, it's about deep friendships and how we connect and interrelate. And again, that goes back to the throat, in how we're able within those relationships to actually speak our truths without being hit down, without being sort of cut off either within that. So the next card is the book. And for me, this is not necessarily about knowledge on a book level, although sometimes knowledge does come through from there, obviously. But it's about things that are waiting to be explored. What's just come into my head, and I'm going to say it, is don't judge a book by its cover. And again, that's going back to, just because you see a rant on Facebook or things on the news, etc., just take a moment to step back and sort of have a look underneath the cover and have a read as to what's going off. Does it feel right? Back to the authentic truth. Does that sit well in what we want to be able to speak? But also, as we open things up, as we open up the books, we will gain more knowledge, and that will give us more information so that we can actually discern what is our internal truth, what is the way that we would like to speak. If we see something on Facebook that's quite vitriolic, that is quite negative, do we want to sit and be in that particular space? Do we want to reflect that back out there? I do also believe that what we put out is what we get back in, and there are times when we do get so annoyed that we end up speaking before we actually think, before we put a brain into gear. The old one is to the foot straight into the mouth, that sort of idea. So also this, for me, is sort of saying quite clearly that, again, just going back into yesterday's reading, just take that moment, step back, just to see what's going to be revealed. There is going to be more to come in, and that will probably come from, going back to this card, our partnerships, our friendships, our relationships. So our relationships with ourselves, but other people as well. In that, when we actually connect with others and we start hearing what they have to say, although we may not agree with it, it may actually give us more insight into how we feel or how we want to express ourselves in a clear manner, in a loving manner. And this is one of the, well, to be fair, I love all the cards because they all have different meanings and different understanding. But the key is the key to unlocking our greatest potential. So within this particular reading, I feel that as we connect and we start revealing things that are blocking our throat, what is it that we're trying to say? How we're getting stuck as well. How can we rephrase it? How can we actually sit comfortably as we speak our truth? And I think that this is the key to unlocking the pain and the hurt that we hold in our throats more often than not. Not so much the pain may be sort of felt in the heart, but we trip ourselves up sometimes with our words and not being able to speak clearly. And I think that this is the key. The key is that we have a better relationship with ourselves, and that I believe will bring in more people, our soul tribes, partnerships, in which that we can be our authentic selves, that we can speak our authentic truth without fear of recrimination, without fear of pain or hurt. But I also believe very strongly that it's not up to others other people don't hold the key for us. We hold our own keys. We hold our own lock. We hold our own keys. And it's in that interrelationship with other people that we actually discover where those keys are, that we help ourselves and each other empower, so that we can actually remain sovereign, remain within ourselves, but at the same time connect fully with other people, learning how to unlock, whether that's just a meme on Facebook or a word that sort of like unlocks something inside. It's like, oh, I hadn't realised that was sticking for me. I hadn't realised that was sticking in my throat. Thank you for unlocking that for me. And it's in that communication, in that partnership, that we have more of a chance of actually being able to unlock ourselves to our full potential. And I strongly, strongly believe that we are all magical and we all have gifts that we need to give out to the world. And I feel that the only way that we can truly do this is by coming back, being authentic with ourselves and learning how to speak our truth in a way that, like yesterday I was talking about, in matching up between the verbal and the non-verbal, the meta communication, so that syncs up. But I think the only time that we'll be able to sync that up properly is by giving ourselves space to feel whether our words are actually going to be heard or met as well. And it's learning also the times to be silent within that. So I hope that this is making sense for people out there and resonating for one or two of you. And we'll see what sound we have to end today. I'm not entirely sure. There's been a couple coming round which have been quite soft, although I'm feeling fairly strong today. So that's a weird combination for me. I'm not sure whether anybody else out there is feeling the same thing. Thank you very much for being with me today, and I'll see if I can come out with today's sound for the reading. Obviously it did. So again, I feel that is very throaty. So back to clearing and just being able to express ourselves. And I thoroughly recommend just vocalization as well, because I find that does clear my throat chakra very, very clearly. So thank you all very much for being with me today. And I hope you've enjoyed this reading. As I said at the start, please remember to hit that subscribe button so that when I do these on a daily basis, you'll be notified when I actually get round to uploading it for you. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time. Love you all.